I've spent countless hours studying Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, more than 5,000 minutes of football under his command. This Spanish mastermind isn't just coaching, he's reshaping the game. Tijani Reijnders, Rayan Cherki, Rayan Cherki. This is not the Manchester City we've known in the past. Pep isn't satisfied with simply winning games anymore. His mission is to dominate, to overwhelm, and to crush opponents without mercy. He's moving past sentiment. The old guard is fading.
And a conversation as well with Wayne Rooney before you signed. What was that conversation like?
Yeah, no, it was the other day actually. I went for some Sunday dinner and he was there and...
Jack Grealish is already gone. Players like Manuel Akanji and Ederson are expected to follow. The days of inconsistency and costly errors are finished. This version of City is ruthless, sharper and hungrier than ever.
Because I felt that we were not starving enough. The four points in a row, I felt the players, even the club, what's next? It looks like no.
About City players not hungry enough last season. And that hunger has returned. We saw it from the very first match of the season. Beating Wolves 4-0 away wasn't just 3 points. It was a warning, a message to the rest of the league. City will tear through anyone who stands in their way. It's chaos and perfection at the same time. This is still Manchester City, only scarier.
Trouble. Numbers. Manchester City's favour. Tijani Reijnders! That's what he was doing with monotonous...
Reijnders' strike summed it up perfectly. One mistake from Wolves, a quick pass from Oscar Bob, and the game was over before half-time. In the second half, City simply accelerated, adding more goals and more fear. We'll get to Haaland, Cherki, and the return of Oscar Bob later. But first, you have to understand the heart of Guardiola's philosophy. It's always been about control in the middle of the pitch. At Barcelona, he had Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. At Bayern, it was Thiago, Kimmich, and even Lahm when Pep reinvented him. At City, Kevin De Bruyne was that man for years until his move to Napoli. Now, Pep has discovered his new centerpiece, Tijani Reijnders, the player who makes this team tick. He gave everyone a glimpse in that friendly against Palermo. Coming off the bench for just 45 minutes, he fired 4 shots, all created by his intelligent off-the-ball movement, and finished with 2 goals. That performance was enough for Pep to hand him a starting spot in the league opener. Reijnders did not waste the chance. Against Wolves, he completely dictated the tempo. Only Nico Gonzalez and Ait Nouri had more touches, and Reijnders kept the ball moving with over 91% passing accuracy. But it wasn't just the numbers. It was the way he constantly pushed City forward. Every pass was followed by another run, another option. He was functioning as both a playmaker and a controller at the same time. To really understand why he matters so much to Guardiola's new setup, we need to rewind a little. After losing to Bournemouth last season, Pep spoke about the future of football. He pointed to the high-intensity, transition-based style used by teams like Bournemouth, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Brighton. Football built on relentless energy and quick transitions. It sounded like the opposite of Pep's trademark positional play, but in truth, he knew exactly what he was saying. And now, he's fully embracing it. This is where Reijnders becomes essential. He brings that engine Pep lacked. He runs tirelessly, always looking to drive forward, and that's exactly how City opened the scoring. He's the complete midfielder for this evolution of Pep's football. Tactically intelligent, yet dynamic enough to cover ground endlessly. A player who finds himself in goal-scoring areas simply because of his movement. Think of him as a younger, sharper Ilkay Gundogan. And Pep's plan is crystal clear. But Reijnders isn't the only part of this transformation. Watching Pep City for over 5,000 minutes also makes something else obvious. He's working to fix the flaws that cost them last year. City's struggles in the previous season weren't just tactical.
Where, for the first time, and I mentioned it before, I think he got some of the players in that didn't have the talent of the players that left.
As Thierry Henry highlighted, the issue wasn't Guardiola's formations. Even when opponents figured out parts of his system, Pep always had a new shape ready to counter them. The real weakness came down to the squad itself. After losing Julian Alvarez, City never truly replaced his creativity and goals. The team looked blunt, lifeless at times. It reached the point where Pep himself seemed drained, like a shadow of his usual animated self on the touchline.
Hi Pep, sorry to go off topic, but you've got a cut and apparently some others.
Yeah, with my finger here.
You know things have gone downhill when even Pep Guardiola admits to being mentally broken. But instead of folding, Pep looked for solutions. This summer, he moved fast to reshape his squad so that nightmare would never repeat itself.
Hello everything, thank you for welcome, and I want to win all the game this year. I want to take a pleasure with my teammate and give the pleasure for the fans.
Bringing in Rayan Cherki for just 30 million is the kind of deal that could define Pep's next era. Right away, you can see what he offers. The spark, the goals, and the imagination City were missing. It's easy to forget how desperate things looked last year. Haaland carried the scoring burden almost alone. Behind him, the second top scorers were Kovacic and Gvardiol with 3 goals each. Foden disappeared in crucial moments. Gundogan was no longer the same force, and neither Doku nor Savinho managed to deliver consistent end product. Cherki changes all of that. Last season in League One, he was the most inventive player by a mile. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, only Bruno Fernandes and Rafinha created more chances overall. But if you adjust the numbers to per 90 minutes, Cherki was the most creative player in all of Europe. No one generated more chances per game, both overall and from open play. But he isn't just a data player. The eye test says even more. He can score with either foot, glide past opponents, or thread impossible passes. Unlike Doku and Savinho, who rely on explosive dribbling, Cherki is unpredictable. He's not just wide pace, he's chaos. Show him one direction and he'll punish you by going the other way. That's why he opened his Premier League account in under 20 minutes.
Cherki, he's onto the ball, Cherki, he hits it into the net! Rayan Cherki!
For anyone who only watched his short debut cameo, the signs were already there in pre-season and the Club World Cup. In just 45 minutes against Palermo, Cherki touched the ball 70 times, more than any other City player that night. Out of his 61 passes, 20 moved the ball forward and 37 were in the opponent's half. That's not just possession, it's control. In games where Foden disappears, Cherki becomes Pep's new outlet, in fact, maybe an even better one, a smarter operator between the lines. But Pep's rebuild didn't stop with him. To solve the Alvarez problem, Guardiola turned to Omar Marmoush in January. Marmoush wasn't your typical City signing. Instead of linking play, he thrived making runs in behind. To use him, Pep experimented with a deeper midfield 3 and a 2-striker setup alongside Haaland. It worked. Haaland finally had a partner to bounce off. Now that the full squad is available, the shape has shifted back, but the lessons remain. Reijnders and Marmoush are vital because they embody transition football, pace, space, and relentless running, and this shows something bigger. Pep has evolved. Watching over 5,000 minutes of his football reveals a side of Guardiola people rarely see.
So many managers have said that you have been a huge influence on them in terms of their management style. Do you feel like you've changed how football is viewed and played in this country, but also across the world?
I would love to say yes for my incredible ego that I have, but I cannot answer this question.
When asked if he changed football, Pep couldn't give an answer. But the truth is clear. Yes, he revolutionized the game. From inverted fullbacks to building from the goalkeeper, managers across the world have copied him. But now, the twist. Pep himself is the one borrowing ideas. That's where the signing of Rayan Cherki comes in. Instead of sticking with his trademark inverted fullbacks, Pep has turned back to a more traditional role. Why? Because he wants to win, again, at all costs. Take Barcelona 2024-25 under Hansi Flick. Their fullbacks pushed high and wide, stretching the game and giving central players space to overload the middle. That tweak unlocked their stars and helped Rafinha deliver more than 50 goal contributions in a single season. Pep saw it, and now he's adapting. Ait Nouri fits that system perfectly. Last season in the Premier League, he ranked second among defenders for completed dribbles, sixth among fullbacks for progressive carries, and was among the top 3 defenders for assists, expected assists, and touches inside the opposition box. Whether Pep sticks with makeshift options on the right, like Rico Lewis or even Nunez, or goes for a specialist, the direction is obvious. He's copying Flick's blueprint, and with the talent City have, the outcome could be devastating. He's reinventing. Erling Haaland has already opened his account in the league. After winning back-to-back golden boots, he was dethroned by Mohamed Salah last season. That setback is exactly the kind of hunger Pep demanded from his players. He's rebuilding. Ederson is no longer the undisputed number 1. Instead, James Trafford has taken his place, a goalkeeper less flashy on the ball, but far more reliable when it comes to shot stopping. Jack Grealish has moved on. Oscar Bob has returned, finally fit and ready to claim the breakthrough season he missed last year because of injuries and inconsistency. But beyond all of this, there's one addition that stands out above the rest. A signing that didn't cost goals, assists, or saves, but knowledge. And the most fascinating part? He doesn't even need to step onto the pitch.
That is that Pep Guardiola has added to his backroom staff, bringing in Pep Linders, former coach at Liverpool, 2 spells, most recently with Jurgen Klopp, until he left.
Pep Linders, the man who helped design Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool into a machine, the mind behind counter-pressing, vertical attacks, and the chaos that once pushed City to their limits. Guardiola has brought him in, not just as a coach, but as a weapon. Because in football, as Pep himself admits, every manager copies from each other.
You think everyone copy and paste, and for other managers from little details, me included the first.
And Guardiola isn't hiding it. He's open about adapting, reshaping, and reinventing his team. The past trophies don't matter anymore. The challenge ahead is bigger than any before. He's never gone 2 seasons without winning a league title, and now the bar is even higher. This is Pep's greatest trial, to merge chaos with control, to fuse raw, transitional football with his meticulous tactical structure. And that fusion is exactly what defines Manchester City in 2025-26. But here's the question: can it truly work? Or has the rest of Europe finally caught up, leaving Pep to chase shadows? Let us know what you think in the comments below.